Good morning, Shadow Rock. I'm privileged to be standing with a real courageous hero that's doing so many wonderful things on the island of the Philippines. And Bill Boyers and his wife Levon have been long-term missionaries. They've worked in educational settings, but uniquely God is using them right now to change some real strongholds that have been in place for a long time. So, Bill, we know that the Philippines is hot. We think that we know heat here in the desert, but you know heat and humidity, which is a whole different thing. But talk to us a little bit about the island of the Philippines and the culture that you're really trying to change and affect.
Okay, the Philippines is actually made up of 7,200 islands, and we were located in Manila in the north, but we just recently moved to the southern island of Mindanao, which is the largest island in the south, and 30% of the population there is Muslim. And there are also 13 unreached people groups. All of them are Muslim in that island, and as you could imagine from that, there are several pockets where it's 100% Muslim. And we've been given a campus there that we can use to help train people to take the love of Christ and learn how to share that love with Muslims.
Well, that's fantastic. And I imagine in a predominantly Muslim environment, there are unique obstacles to you sharing Christ with people. But God, has used you in amazing ways, and you were sharing with me earlier that there's a story of just kind of a tragic story, but that God really redeemed it and turned it around and used it in amazing ways. Would you mind sharing that story with us?
Yes, one of the pastors that we're working with shared with me an occasion where he and his wife had left their village, and while out, learned that a terrorist group was going to make a raid on their village. And so he texted his two teenage daughters to get them to leave as quickly as they could. But the eldest one made it, but the 14-year-old was not able to make it. And she was brutally murdered along with several others in the village. And this kind of, as you can imagine, this really hurt the pastor, and he was just so angry.
Yeah.
And wanted to retaliate for this, so he decided to join a militia group that had been inviting him for years to lead them, and this kind of put him over the top. And so he decided to lead a retaliation against this terrorist group. But the night before it happened, the Holy Spirit came to him and said, "Pastor, you can go ahead and take this group, and you can have your vengeance, but you're going to live in blood the rest of your life." But if you decide to forgive them, which is what I want you to do, then I will open up a door of ministry that you couldn't even imagine. And so he was able to convince the militia group that they would go ahead and forgive, and it so surprised the leader of the terrorist group that he sent some of his men to go get the pastor and explain what had happened. And when he learned that indeed they had forgiven, instead of coming back and wreaking violence themselves, would rather share the love of God and forgiveness, he gave this pastor 3 hours to share his understanding of the love and forgiveness of Jesus Christ. Wow. That's pretty amazing.
It is amazing. And I think all of us would understand just the temptation to go out there and get revenge, and yet God used this in an amazing way to turn the circumstances all around. Well, you're making a difference there, and we want to be a part of getting you back out on the mission field. You've been back here about 7 months, but you recently were told that you need to raise an emergency amount of money. So share with us about how we can partner with you as a church to get you back out there on the mission field where you can be most effective.
Okay. Yeah, 2 ways that you can help. Number 1 is prayer. We have a spiritual stronghold that has been sitting there for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, and never been broken. And so we're up against a real battle in the spirit at this. But also, we need to raise $29,000 in one-time cash and about another $1,000 in monthly pledges. And by participating in praying for us and helping us financially, that'd be a big boost to helping us get back.
Well, we'd love to get you back out there. And so we're going to commit as a church to pray for the Boyers, Bill and Levon Boyer, who are courageous missionaries in the Philippines. And we also want to partner with them as much as we can to make a big dent in this $29,000 that they desperately need right now. And so we're going to ask you to prayerfully consider doing that, and we'll give you an opportunity, instructions about how to do that a little later on in the service. But God bless you. Thank you for letting us share Bill and LaVon Boyers with you this morning.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor.